Ian, what's going on, brother?
What's up? What's up? Happy to
Welcome
be
to
here.
the welcome to the pod, the YouTube channel, all that good stuff. How we doing?
Thank you. Doing well. Doing well. Just got back up here to Wisconsin, settling in, getting back in the studio with the team, but excited to be here.
Nice, man. Glad you're here.
Yes.
Cool, man. Well, why don't you give the people watching just a quick little introduction about yourself, like your name, your agency, what you guys do, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So I'm Ian Gatske. Been Our agency is about 3.5 years old. We're based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We actually started 3.5 years ago, or roughly 4 years ago now, as a real estate media business. So for the first 2 years of our business's life, that's all we did was real estate photography and videography. So when a real estate agent was selling a house, we would come in, take the photo, video, Matterport, drone, all that good stuff. Um, Take that for them, send it to them, so that they could use that to market the listing on Zillow, social media, etc. Then about a year and a half ago, we had a client reach out to us asking if we could help them out with their social media, and we never really considered that idea, um, like very seriously at least, because we were just so busy with the real estate stuff. But we built out our very first offer for them. I think it was just like, hey, we'll do 12 videos a month for you. We'll do one recording session. Just kind of like stumbled into the very standard social media management offer, and kind of the rest has been history from there. Like a year and a half later, now we're actually just transitioned our business like a month ago. Like we sent out a big message. We had like 550 real estate agents that we serviced in the real estate media side of our company. We sent out a big message. We cut off about 75% of those clients to go all in on the content management offer. So the content marketing, the social media management side of our business is going to be the core service in our business moving forward. Um, just because it's a lot more sustainable, way less chaotic. Like we're working with 20 clients instead of 500 plus, but a lot of different reasons. So we just went through that big transition over the last year and a half in our business, like the core focus of our company. We have 9 people on the team now. That's changed a lot over the last year. Just over a year ago, we were only at 4. So hiring a lot of people, busy, very much in the growth stage. Right now, we're at about, you know, 50 to 60 thousand dollars per month in our agency. Um, yes, that's kind of where we're at.
Let's go. Oh, why don't you share a little bit about why you joined agency? Like what were some of the bottlenecks and stuff that you were coming across in the agency that had you feeling like you needed some help?
Yeah. So I also want to give a shout out. I have a business partner, Matt. He actually started the business. So shout out Matt. But Matt and I both, we were just lost, right? Like we had nobody telling us what to do. Right. And that's the hardest thing I think in business is, everybody talks about being an entrepreneur. You have all this time freedom, you have all this flexibility, but they don't really know that on the flip side of that, I think that's the hardest thing about an entrepreneur is that you're responsible for your time. There's nobody telling you what you should be doing, what your next steps are, which direction you should go. It's just kind of up to us to figure that out. So Matt and we stumbled into this new service and we really just had no guide. Like we were just like, I think we should do this. I think we should focus our time on building this out for our offer. We should add this to our offer. We should offer this to our clients. This is how we can improve the quality of the content for our clients. We just had zero guidance, and I tried looking up books to find this stuff. All the books suck that are out there about social media marketing, right? It feels like they're all written in like 2011. And it's all just like standard marketing stuff. So there really wasn't much. Like I think the best book that I read was like $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozy, and then he came out with $100 Million Leads. So that kind of stuff helped a lot. But there's a huge difference between reading a book and then you're just kind of alone with the book to apply these things, and having somebody like Austin, like the rest of the group in Agency U, there to bounce ideas off of and learn from their actual real life experience and be able to talk to the person, right? You can't talk to a book. So I think the biggest thing that we were missing in our business was just any kind of like confidence in the decisions that we're making, and confidence in direction and clarity in direction. We were just super lost. Had never were super 100% confident in the direction that we were going and what the next steps should be. Yeah, that was huge. Just not really knowing where to go next was like the biggest hole for us.
Yeah, kind of like just realizing you didn't want to do something and then have to backtrack and then pretty much redo it or guess or the implications of guessing, which are
Yeah,
really impactful because, like clean up messes, essentially, is what happens.
100%. And it's just, we didn't have the answers, right? Like we can say, hey, we're going to go this way, but we don't know if that's right or wrong because we had never done it before. But with somebody like you
Yeah.
built an agency to $200,000 a month on content marketing. So like, what the next steps for us should be. We didn't have that.
Yeah. So you're reading books. Anything else that you're trying to do to try to figure out, like, okay, should I do this? Should I not do this? Like that sort of stuff.
I mean, we were in another mastermind group. It was mostly centered around real estate, photography, and videography companies. Was the previous mastermind group we were in, and then they kind of started like when we started like a year and a half ago. Started the social media management offer. They kind of launched a new arm or division of this mastermind community that was geared more towards social media management. Because everybody like there were a bunch of other agencies in that group that were starting to adopt it for their clients, but it just wasn't very sufficient. I didn't find much value in it. What they were talking about, it's like, okay, I've kind of already tried these things. Like you're not really, I wasn't
Mm.
learning really anything new. So
Mm.
we were in that kind of mastermind community that wasn't super helpful. It was not nearly as built out as what I've now come to see with Agency U. It was just like, they'd have a weekly group call that would be about subjects that were about real estate, videography, and photography. They kind of threw like some half-baked modules out about like, hey, this is why you should add a social media management offer without really any detail around it. So, but outside of like books and, talking to some people in that mastermind, that original group that we were in, it was just getting the real world experience of working with our clients and getting our feedback from them.
Yeah. Yeah. Dope. Okay. So reading books, we talked a while ago. I don't know, was that 4 or 5 months ago?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you've been in the program for 4 or 5 months now, or just with us for 4 or 5 months, I guess you can call it. What has been on the other side of, like, what have you been able to achieve since joining the agency, and like what has actually helped you tangibly grow your business, and what has the growth of your business been? Because it's been really cool to see and cool to watch from my point of view, because you guys are freaking crushing it for sure.
I appreciate it. Yeah. On the other side, since joining Agency U, just, I mean, the biggest thing we were missing was filled, right? Which is that clarity and that confidence of what our next step should be. Like having somebody like you take a look at our business and where we were at, to kind of just be a sounding board for us of like all the problems that we're running into, and you can just kind of sift through us just rambling to you about this is what we're running into, these are the issues that we have, right? And then you just being a sounding board for that, and then be able to confidently kind of diagnose us with like, hey, these are the three most important things for you to do next. Right, that has been massive, right? Because prior to that, it was just us rambling to ourselves and then scratching, 50 ideas of what we think we should do, and then pointing to three and being like, I think these are the three most important. But it's just like the confidence in the decisions and the confidence in what the next steps should be has been massive. And when we're more confident in the decisions and the next steps and what we should be doing next, we're more committed and bought in to making those things happen, which has been huge. And then just like so many new ideas that I don't know if we ever would have considered, like the authority funnel that you've built out for us. I mean, the creative partner model that we haven't adopted yet, but it's something that we're striving for. Absolutely. Just like so many new ideas. A big thing that I didn't really anticipate was how reassuring it's been to be in a community of, a couple hundred other people that are in the exact same position as we are, right? It's just like not feeling like alone. It's like, man, there's people all over the world that are having the exact same problems that we are and are in the same boat as me. So just like that community element can't be overlooked. It's super encouraging and inspiring and motivating to be in the group call with you, or like all the other group calls that we have, right? And just hear like the wins that everybody else is having, and just seeing everybody is just super motivating in itself.
Yeah, dope. What would you say have been like the tangible results that you've been able to like point to and be like, yep, this is completely worth it. This has been awesome. It's clearly made an impact for me enough to keep invest inside of Agency U and do a freaking case study and all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. Like what is your business scene?
Yeah. Well, I would say two big things. The first off, the results for our clients, like the quality of service that we've been able to provide to our clients has increased dramatically. Like beforehand, we were getting clients just based on the relationship that we had with them. They kind of trusted us. But if I'm being totally honest, we were delivering a really terrible service. Like we were not getting them results. They were paying us a couple $1,000s a month, and there's no way that I felt horrible about it, right? Like we would stop charging our clients and be like, hey, we're not going to take your money, but if we keep creating content for you, we want to keep learning, right? So just the quality of service and the results they were able to deliver our clients has increased dramatically. Like now I know when we have a client come into our onboarding, we know what we need to gather from them. We know how to put together a comprehensive content strategy. We know how to get our clients results, right? Like that's the biggest thing. And with that has come a dramatic increase in the revenue from this service, right? Like when we joined Agency U, we had 3 clients on retainer for content management doing about, like $7,000 a month in revenue. And now we're up to 10 clients. 10 clients with two more closing in the next few weeks. It's like we're just constantly like bringing new clients on, but we're up to 10 clients doing over $20,000 a month in revenue just from this content management offer. So it's like 3x the revenue just from this service.
Killer. And you're providing a good service, and you're not having to justify your price every single month because you know and you're confident on the delivery. I see so many people, and I don't know if you sense the same thing with like newer agencies. It's like they're constantly have to justify because they don't have the process. They don't have like the results for the clients, and they're like hoping, okay, if I just post this video, like they're gonna get a result.
Yeah.
Versus like you're a marketer before you are just like a content service deliverer and a glorified freelancer to a bunch of different companies. Like you're thinking as a marketer, you're not just thinking as a videographer. I think
Exactly.
that's showing in the retention as well as getting new clients and the service and like your confidence in delivering it. It's huge.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the understanding, like our understanding of what it really takes to succeed on social media, like with some of the people that we've been able to learn from because of the platform of Agency U. Like we brought in the guy that makes Grant Cardone's content, right? We learned directly from him, Grant Cardone is one of the biggest social media influencers. So learning, hey, like what he's learned from social media has been an absolute game changer, right? So like we're on the forefront of the knowledge in this space. So like we know a lot more about what it takes to be successful on social media, and we're able to take that information and apply it to our service for our clients. So just having that knowledge, right, has been huge, which has just increased the quality of the service, which is charging more. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. And I can see that just from your guys' offer when we first started to like now, not only just from the delivery, but from the conviction of it. And then you guys just like innovating and thinking with the customer in mind and like thinking as a marketer, not just like, oh, am I going to get 10 leads and close 10 deals and then they all like leave and it's just like a fulfillment nightmare. It's like you're really paying attention and running the business like a business, which is exactly how it's done. And that's why you guys are having success. Weird.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, like we know, like we have a very clear picture of where we're trying to move to, right? Like the team that we need to build in order to have a successful content management service, right? Like I had no idea, right? I was just making up titles, I was making up positions. I had no idea what team we needed to build, but now we have that clear vision and picture of exactly where we're moving towards, which makes knowing what the next steps, like you need that destination, that clarity of destination to have clarity of the next step, which has been huge.
What's been like your favorite part within agency? Is it like the one-to-ones? Is it the group calls? Is it the community? Is it the modules? Like what have you gotten the most value from?
I personally love the group calls. I love like the mastermind, brainstorming, big group kind of energy, just hearing from everybody, seeing everybody's faces, everybody, sharing their wins. Everybody asks like even just like the questions that people are asking. It's like, oh, I didn't even think of that question, but I need the answer to that. And it's also like you can tell where somebody's at in their business by the questions that they ask. And it's super inspiring to just see everybody. Like I always leave those group calls just super pumped up and kind of, it's just very refreshing, right? To hear other people in the same boat struggling through the same stuff that we're struggling through every single day. And it's just like, I'm not alone. Cause like it can be very overwhelming a lot of times. And seeing other people in the same position that I'm in, like, I don't know, it maybe sounds weird, but it kind of like just calms me down, brings me back to earth. It's like, okay, other people are struggling through this. This isn't the hardest thing in the world, right? Like I'm gonna be okay. Other people are in it right now with me, and other people have gotten through it. It's possible, and also the content in those conversations is always super valuable.
Yeah.
So I personally love the group calls.
Yeah. Nice. I know. And then as far as like agency U just in general, I mean, you were in a mastermind before. There's a lot of different agency U's out there, agency U type consulting programs out there. Like what inspired the decision to move forward with us versus like finding a different consultant or finding a different company to work with? Like what helped you when you were making that decision?
Well, I mean, you had built a business that we want to build. Like you had built the exact same business that we want to build, like a large, larger than we'd ever dreamed of, right? Like you got your agency to $200,000 a month, right? Like our goal is $1 million a year, right? So you had built a bigger business than we're even striving to build right now. So that in itself was already better than what we had been a part of before. But I'm trying to think back to when we were evaluating. Like, I mean, like Matt kind of told me about it. You and Matt had a conversation, and Matt was like, "Dude, I think this guy's awesome." Like he had watched a bunch of your
Nice.
content. I checked out like one of your YouTube videos, and then within the first 20 minutes of the conversation, I'm like, "All right, yeah, let's do this." So I'm definitely like to make decisions relatively quickly, but I don't know. I just got a feeling that you're a very genuine person from the first time that I met you. Um, Obviously, you know your shit, and yeah, I wanted to learn from you and just kind of like surround myself with people like you, and just be engaged in a community that you had created. And I just had confidence that you were a good person and you knew your stuff. And
This is gonna scam you.
yeah, yeah. So just kind of like that. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. Makes a lot
Because
of
like the
sense.
biggest thing with
Yeah.
like the previous community we were in, we were just like constantly being charged. Like we would ask them, it's like, hey, we're not really using this mastermind group anymore. Can you cancel our subscription or like lower us down to a lower tier? And then they just like would not. Like they just would not do it. And it was just like super complicated and super hard. Like we got charged like $13,000. Like we paid these guys like 13 grand after we had said that we want to stop. Like I just wasn't a big fan of them, and like it was the community had just gotten so big that like we weren't really direct like dealing with the guy who had started it originally,
Yeah.
and it didn't feel very personalized. Like it was all just like kind of like cookie cutter for everybody. Like everybody was getting the same content, everybody was getting the same advice. Meanwhile, with like there was no like one-to-one element of that previous group too. And I know I just talked about how the group calls are my favorite part of Agency U, but the one-to-one element is definitely huge because it's that personalized advice and guidance from you or from Matt or from other people in other agency representatives, which I mean is unbelievable. Like you're just adding like another executive to your team
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, our job is just like what you said for your clients is to do the same thing.
Yeah,
Like our job is solely to get you results and focus on getting results and doing everything that we can do to get you results. Just like your goal is to do the same thing for your clients. It's an agency. Like we have
yeah,
an agency, so like same way I would run my agency, which is how do I get their clients results? Same way I'm running this agency. How do I get my clients the results
totally.
and make sure I'm doing everything that I can possibly do to get them results. So, okay, if I'm watching this, if I'm an agency owner, maybe I've had a call with us, maybe I'm just checking you guys out. Like, what would you like say to those people? Like what would you encourage them? Like, what would you like say to somebody who's maybe hesitant about agency U or they're skeptical about it? Like, what like you're talking to them right now? What are you saying?
Yeah. Somebody that's, exploring the opportunity of Agency U, I don't know, that's a good question. I would say, like, because I'm trying to think back to where I was. It's like, I mean, if you feel like you aren't, like, if you're feeling lost in like where you should go next, right? If you're feeling lost in what the next big task, the next thing you need to add to your service, or you're just feeling lost, right? If you're feeling confused, like unclear about what the next steps are in your agency, right? The best place to get those answers are from somebody who has done it before, right? Who has built the type of business that you want to build. So if you feel like Austin or the other people in Agency U, like Gilberto, Matt, other Agency U members that you might have gotten connected with, if they have built a business that you want to build, there is no better place to get the information that you need to build that type of business, right? They've done it before, right? They have personal testimonial experience. Um, so I would just take a look, like get introspective and be like, hey, what is the type of business that I want to build? Like, do I want to have an agency where I can scale, like build myself out of the day-to-day operations where I can be, like more of a CEO instead of like a red, what do you always say? You always say like, do you want to be a red button pusher or like a consultant or I don't
Oh yeah,
even,
there you
yeah, I don't even know. Like
go.
if you want to build a business where you can be more of like a conductor and not be stuck in the day-to-day of your business because I think that's the hardest part is building like a team, right? And hiring people. And I think that's something that you've helped me out. I didn't mention it earlier. You've helped me out so much with like what it really takes to have a successful hire and hire the right person and have that person have success and, take more off of my plate so that I can level up and work more on the business instead of in the business. But going back to that person that's on the fence, like if you want that guidance, there's no better place to get it than from somebody who has built that type, who has done it before, right? And if you look at Austin's track record, like he's done it, right? Like he scaled a business from to $1 million a year in less than a year, like in his very first year, and then hired a CEO and sold his business within 3 or 4 years. It's like, yeah, that's what I want to do. So no better place to learn that than from a guy that's done it.
Agreed. And I think the feeling lost part too, like you mentioned that, kind of alluding to guessing, not really sure which direction to take. I think that's huge for a lot of people, is they don't know what the next step is, and they feel lost. They don't have the vision like they used to. And I would say 80, if not more, 90% of the people that we talk to who join Agency U, like after the onboarding call, after like the first like week or so, they're just like reinvigorated, like they're re-lit up, and they feel like they have a vision and they see the blueprint, because it's not just, cool, Ian, we're gonna go slam we're gonna tell you to run ads and get you a bunch of leads and like go figure it out. It's like, no, we're gonna build this business around
Yeah.
you, around your life, around your goals, around the ambitions, around what you guys are looking to create.
Yeah.
And let's create the roadmap and like let's make it happen.
Yep.
And that's exactly who we're helping.
Yeah, and I think that point is just like it's not one size fits all with Agency U. It's very much so like customized and tailored to where we were at.
Yeah.
Like it didn't feel like you didn't just throw a course at us. You didn't throw a bunch of modules at us and be like, "Hey, watch all these videos and then we'll meet again in a month."
Yeah.
No, it was like, "All right, we had our onboarding call. You got very clear with us about, all right, where are we currently at with our agency, and what is our 30-day, like 60-day, 90-day, like you had the 30-day sprint, those kinds of like little
Yeah.
exercises that you do at the very beginning, and that is like super, like it fires you up, right? Because like for the first time, I felt like in our agencies, like our business's existence, it's like, okay, I know that these are the right next steps, like with 100% certainty. Yeah, which was so helpful.
It's good, man. Anything else that would be helpful to hit on while we're here?
No, I mean, I would just say thank you. Thank you for creating Agency U. I mean, the growth in Agency U, I feel like there's new people joining there are new people joining every single day. Like in the general chat in the Slack channel, always seeing new people introducing themselves, and that's just so cool to see. Like I think even since I've joined, like I think when we joined there were maybe like 100 people in Agency U, and now there's over 220. I think there's like something like 225 people in, which is so cool. It feels like we were a part of like it still feels like we're a part of the beginning of something that's going to be really big, which is super exciting. And I know the value that you and the rest of the community brings to people like ourselves is undeniable. So the sky's the limit here, and excited to see all the new people that join.
Yeah, we're just getting going too. Come on.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. No doubt about that.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Sweet. Yes, sir. Thank you.